12 ways to completely break Valorant, from converting your own rank to immortal to full-on bugs like this chamber holding his ultimate while being completely invisible. We have a wide spectrum of things to cover today, so let's get into it. Or here in this next one, it gets even blatantly worse. There's Astra right there. Yep, the entire time. When she was in her second form, she was invisible. Don't ask me how. But if that doesn't break Valorant enough for you, you could place a Killjoy ultimate right here in this spot of fracture, and bada bing, bada boom, it goes under the map. Now, most of the things in this video, for good reason, of course, are patched out, but this one is mind-blowingly breaking as it's an easy retake or an easy take for sight. But the reign of Killjoy doesn't exactly end here. She also has a ton of unbreakable mollies, and while a lot of these have been patched out, there are still some today that you can line up and do quite comfortably. It's broken. They're completely unbreakable. They help block sight or post plant. That's the most broken part. The fact that you can't break it for the post plant is what genuinely makes them so busted, because you're gonna go to defuse, you can't clear the site, damages both above and below you in this case, and they happen across a lot of different maps. This is one of my favorites on Icebox, and again for good reason, thanks to the way that the Killjoy Molly works. It just covers such a wide site, and they don't really end. Again, they do tend to be patched. With that said, there's still a ton that work today and will continue to work on future maps. I'm just sure of it. But you know what's even more broken than not breaking an ult and not breaking a molly? Not being able to even defuse the spike. Now, if you want to see a lot of these style bugs where it breaks the spike or absolutely destroys the game itself, I have a lot of bug related videos. This video is not all about bugs, but yeah, if you use a Sage Wall, you can sneak into Sea Haven and then plant the spike. This has since been patched, but man, this one keeps breaking, then Riot patches it. Then it breaks, then Riot patches it. It's kind of funny, not gonna lie to you. And of course, it's busted. But like I said, it's not all about bugs. This next one destroys the game, and it's AFK farming for XP. It's scripting, so don't do this. You will get banned. Like, it just will happen. People will report you because of how obvious it is. But just by downloading a free software and then setting up a macro, you can quite literally AFK farm the battle pass, leave it overnight, and it's absolutely busted. Now, why is it game breaking? Well, obviously, one, the scripter's breaking the game by farming XP while not playing it, which is the definition of breaking it, but then it also simultaneously breaks the game for everyone around you, especially in a deathmatch. I've had once like half the lobby in a script and it just ruined the deathmatch. Now, luckily you can just leave and restart a deathmatch, but I've seen it happen in Spike Rush and Swift Plays, which destroys the game altogether, and bots can't FF. I've had a 4-stack bot, which we'll get to in a second, but it is stupid. 50,000 XP a night, game breaking, and you will get banned. Don't do this. Luckily, not everything is illegal or terrible. You can also break the opponent's minds with these. Wallbangs, while a part of the gameplay mechanic, there are certain ones like this one on Haven, for example, and plenty more, in which it definitely breaks your mind as well as the opponent's mind. I mean, how do you even react to that?
What? Oh my god.
But I mean, we can't really go on without covering a little bit more bugs. Omen plus Sage teleporting into the map is quite a classic, and there are so many on so many different levels, it's mind-blowing. This one, Omen can literally walk under Haven, just straight up walk. Then there's Jet, which continues to be bugged till today. This one is literally on our newest map, Lotus. Even if I show you ones from old Valorant, you still get stuff like this. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just a reaction clip. Like, how do you even process these clips? They're insane. Jet is so bugged. I'm sure you've seen these on Split, but this is the new Split. I'm telling you, Jet just keeps breaking the game. Another way to break the game, and more so your rank, is the competitive queue for 5-stack. Now, long story short, by queuing with a 5-stack or 4-stack of low ranks, you can boost your own rank quite heavily. Now, I'm not going to show it on screen, but just take my word when I say this does break the rank system, because I even have a player that I know, an Immortal, who's 5-stack their rank to Immortal, and he literally just queues with golds and silvers. So he queues with a bunch of low friends, and it boosted his rank up to Immortal. He gets the buddy. Everyone can call him Immortal, even if he never actually plays in Immortal. Now, you get an RR penalty, but of 25%, if your win rate is so much higher, does it really matter? It doesn't. He's the only Immortal. The other ranks are diamond. It breaks the matchmaking. Now, this next thing actually pairs with the first one. These are screenshots of accounts, as you can see, very obvious if you want to pause and look at their stats, that are boosting themselves by using 5-stack. But worst of all, you can see they don't have many games, and that's because they're also purchased accounts, and that's the 5-stack farming for accounts. This is different than the 5-stack farming ranks. 5-stack farming accounts is to get these accounts to be eligible eligible for ranked, which is by boosting their level. You can see here, this dude literally has 4 bots on his team in actual games because deathmatch does not count. You have to play 20 real games. See, you can see it here. You can see that he spawns in, 4 just run into the wall. Make sure they don't go AFK so they can boost their level and get those 20 games in, and then sell them to people who will most likely 5-stack with low ranks and boost their ranks, which they can be sold as Radiant or Immortal accounts, or just to flex your fake rank, basically. It is the definition of breaking the game. I also have no idea how anyone finds this fun, and it's because it's not. You're AFK, and it's 100% bannable and not allowed. I don't know. Now, the next agent, you can see Chamber. Now, if you're new to the game, you'll be wondering, why did this guy place down 2 teleporters? He placed one at the start and then one here under Hell. But the truth is, a lot of us do already know this since it's one of the most recent reworks. Chamber did break Valorant for a long time. And I don't say this from a point like, oh, Chamber was busted. No. He was the highest pick rate, highest win rate, and dominated the Valorant meta for the longest time. It was the longest Valorant meta we ever experienced. So naturally, Riot nerfed everything about him. He had 1 anchor point. His trip went from 2 to 1 at one point. His ultimate got slowed down to a halt, just making it way harder to use. Everything about him got hit, and his pick rate and win rate tanked. It was one of the biggest nerfs in Valorant's patch history. Now, this next little thing about breaking Valorant is very similar to the wall bang point. It's kind of part of the game, but only to an extent, as Riot has shown us. They're one-way smokes. There's a lot of one-way smokes. There will always be a lot of one-way smokes, but they're clearly not all welcome, as a lot of these Omen ones you're seeing actually got patched out completely. So, while a lot of people would argue they're just part of the game, they're maybe less part of the game than wallbangs even, because Riot has shown they're not happy with all of them and have nerfed a lot of one-way smokes in the past and will most likely continue to do so into the future. There are some that are super skilled like Viper and Cypher, which will remain, but they believe something like Omen was too easy to pull off and completely changed Omen smoke to nerf one-ways. Now, while we've already covered 12, here are 2 bonuses that aren't even in the title. And the reason they're bonuses is because I actually covered them in previous videos, but someone's gonna make a comment if I don't mention how game breaking they were. The first one is, yes, Cypher's camera used to be able to shoot people by picking up a gun. It was broken, and I've covered it before. And another game breaking bug was the fact you could plant the spike anywhere on the map, literally anywhere on the map. Just by abusing a Phoenix ult bug, you could carry the spike forward with you, or backwards with you, I guess, and plant it anywhere, as you can see here. This also stacked with something like Sage's Wall, in which you could plant the spike in literally the middle of the air, just completely anywhere you wanted on the map. It was absolutely game breaking. And you know, there is also one more, the Viper wall ride. Since someone's gonna make a comment on that, yes, you used to be able to ride Viper's wall. So those are 3 bonuses that most people know about. Okay, bye.